mi hermano. No tengo nada. No tengo nada.
Welcome back to Advocacy, Alchemy with Professor Ross. Today we have a good one, guys. In today's video, we witness a tense, emotionally charged scene that unfolds outside a red van that's been barricaded by the occupants. There's visible distress and a federal immigration operation in motion. What starts as an officer threatening to break a window quickly turns into an encounter involving multiple agencies, crime family members, and the stark realities of immigration enforcement. We're going to walk through what happened, who got involved, and most importantly, what their rights are and what they aren't. All based on this case. This is a story of fear, family, and federal power, all in motion. With that, let's jump in.
Sounds good. The doors are locked?
All the doors are locked. They're still leaking.
Okay.
He did shut it off though. He was revving the engine for a while.
Come on, man. I'm gonna break the window if you don't. You just get out so I don't have to break the window.
7371 Nora Frank to the job.
The car's off. What? No, you guys gotta come out. You gotta come out. Both of you. You have to step out of the vehicle. Bro, just come on. Let's go. Come on, you gotta get out. I'm gonna break the window if you don't. You got a window punch? Someone?
You got one? Oh, I got it. I got him.
I'm gonna break it. Get out. Just hop out, man. No, hop out. No. He's gotta hop out. Why? Because I said so. He's okay. Just get out. It's no big deal. Okay. There's people back here.
Mi hermano, no se lo
He's
lleven.
okay. He's okay.
No se lleven a mi hermano, por favor.
You're all right. Get out.
Que es mi hermano. No se lo lleven. No se lo
He's not going anywhere.
lleven.
Tell him to open the door back there.
Please, no se lo lleven.
Open the door. Open the door
No
now.
se lo lleven, por favor. No se lleve a mi hermano. No tengo nada, no tengo nada.
You want me to rip it off? Get out of the car now. Get out.
No me lleves.
Stop playing games. Get out of the car. Put your hands behind your back. Don't. Hey! I'm gonna.
¡Ey, vuelta a salir!
Open the door. Alright.
¿Por qué me hacen eso? Negate, hermano.
You guys got. Is there more people back there? No.
No.
No, this is good.
Hermano. Era mi hermano. No. No tengo nada. No tengo nada.
There, Spanish speaking officer, come back.
Is everyone else back there? Nope. No. Hey, dear. Dear, you're just gonna have to move your car real quick.
Friend who's involved in this, like my nephew.
Your what?
My nephew is here.
Okay, can you just
I just wanted to talk. Oh, where do you want me to put my car?
Oh, just yeah, you just gotta park like on the road or right in the parking lot or something. Okay.
Yeah.
Get in the car. Get in the car. You're gonna get in the car and follow them. Get in the car.
Well, you can't follow them. It's an emergency vehicle. We're gonna stop you then.
Chill out. Mom, get in the car and follow them.
You can't follow them.
I will follow you, and I don't care if I get a charge.
Oh, okay, then come here.
No.
Come here.
No.
What's your ID? I need your ID then.
I don't have an ID on me.
I'm not doing this. Okay.
I don't care. I don't care.
So,
I don't care what you're doing and what you're not
are
doing.
they all in that?
Yes, they are all in that car. I saw his dad in that car and my brother.
Maria, I need you to be quiet.
Want to give me a second? They're going to go to the Batavia Detention. It's a processing detention facility. You're not going to be allowed in there. There's going to be a kiosk. You can't get past a certain point. You understand? There'll be visitation and stuff like that. But
Good for
where
you.
they're
I don't
going-
care. That doesn't mean I can't follow them. I will sit in the parking lot.
I'm telling you where to go.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, just go to the They're going there right now, so you can
I'm
just go
telling you
there.
where they're going to be.
Thank you.
Her mom's key from the G.
Yes, this is my key.
Yeah,
Thank
where
you.
we had-
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Do you know them? Or you just
No, it's okay. They just took him to the Batavia.
Yeah, they're gonna go to Batavia. This
Are
is
they
all
right
the.
here right now, though?
What's that?
Is Willie
Okay,
right
where are
here?
the ICE officers? Because I want to know the process of
No,
what
I
happened.
already know. They
No, I want to know the
somebody
process of what
called
happened.
ICE. We don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, I
if
mean,
the
this is-
But
police
he's
did.
not ICE.
This isn't
Join
anything.
RPD.
Yeah, this is anything
So
through
we
RPD.
don't
We're
know
not.
if the police called or
No,
if
we.
someone else.
We're not
took
even allowed to
off.
call. We can't
Right,
call. Yeah.
that's so beautiful.
So I want to understand.
What do you want to understand?
Can't stop the car. Just get out of the road.
Grace, it doesn't matter. Once it's already over, it's
He's
over.
ICE, by the way.
Stop pointing.
I know, but I want to know the process. He's a bitch.
So.
Stop it.
Well, so
Bitch.
they have their own protocols and stuff that they deal with. I don't know any of that.
Right.
That's on them. Okay.
So,
Were you here the whole time?
They're going to Batavia.
Hey, who is this to you, miss?
This is my husband.
All right, can you just? Oh no, listen. We just came here to assist. Obviously, we had nothing to do with this.
Bullshit, making this big ass scene. We got our rights, please.
Yes, go on.
Please just go.
Hold on a second. We're called here because of this government
371.
thing.
Yeah, but
So
they're not criminals.
I know, no one's saying. I'm just here to help. The issue is, it sounds like they need him to come out of the car, and him closing the door and doing all this.
They come to Batavia.
Okay, but now you're gonna have a lot of officers on scene because they asked us to come 77, which means lights and sirens. So look at all these cars now coming. All he has to do is get out of the vehicle. Either way, in the end, he's gonna have to come out. I would rather do it without force.
Criminals, please. We are right.
Okay, but they've decided that whatever their situation is, that he needs to get out of the vehicle, and they're gonna take him to wherever they gotta go. Him doing what he's doing is just causing a big scene and causing a lot worse.
Que lo que están haciendo más.
So here's what's gonna happen. If he doesn't get out of the car, we're gonna break the window and drag him out. No one wants to do that.
I don't have any money for
Just watch these guys.
evil. Fucking evil, motherfucker. You're fucking evil.
All right, but
Get the fuck away.
so that may make you upset. And
Fucking evil
well, here's
people.
the issue. Whatever their situation
Ruin
is,
everything.
they're gonna ask him to come out of the
It
vehicle.
was working.
Instead of yelling
They
at him,
don't bother nobody. And I'm a criminal.
Open the door.
Fucking they got
Open the door now.
shit. Let me talk to my husband.
back up.
Don't push
Come out of the car. Dale, dale.
You understand me?
Dale.
Touch my officer.
I'm a woman.
I don't care.
You can't
I don't care. I just did.
Dale.
Cut it out.
You're not nothing.
Leave it. Leave it.
Shit.
All right, I know you. Okay.
Back up.
Can you back up?
I just want to
Back up, please. Just
why are you
please.
pushing
So
me
you can back up.
hard?
So you can back up.
No pele. Get back. What are you doing? Get back. What the f you want to do? Let me put handcuffs. Get back.
Just please get back.
Hermano, él es mi hermano. No, él es mi hermano. No tengo nada, no tengo nada.
260. Is there a Spanish-speaking officer that come by?
So a lot of you guys.
Let's unpack the legal structure behind what we've seen. Now, I have significantly cut down this video. If you want to see the video in its entirety, you have to check out the original upload in the video description. I will warn you, it's 57 minutes long. All right, so with that, first we have the idea of administrative law versus criminal law. Immigration enforcement is governed by administrative law, not criminal law. That means the people detained are not entitled to the same protections they would have if they were being charged with crimes, like trial by jury or public defenders. The entire system operates under the authority of the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, using civil procedures to investigate and remove individuals from the country. Once again, this is not a criminal prosecution, even though the consequences, which are the loss of liberty, family separation, and potentially deportation, all can be just as severe as a criminal punishment. Number 2, ICE detainers and local assistance. When ICE believes someone is removable from the country, they can issue a detainer, and that's a request asking local law enforcement to hold the person until ICE can take custody. That's probably what's going on in this situation. Local officers are assisting HSI agents, but the local police, the Rochester police, are not the primary actors. That's why you hear officers saying things like, "We're just here to help." Their role is custodial, not investigative. And that's an important thing to understand when you're trying to determine who's going to be accountable for what happens during this stop. Number 3, warrantless arrest under 8 U.S.C. Section 1357. Federal immigration agents have the authority to arrest individuals without a warrant if they have a reason to believe the person is in the country unlawfully and likely to escape before a warrant can be obtained. Unlike traditional police arrests that require probable cause or a signed warrant, these detentions are administrative in nature, and courts have upheld this standard repeatedly. That's why no one is Mirandized in this video. This isn't criminal court. Number 4, no right to a jury trial. In immigration court, there is no jury. Detained individuals appear before an immigration judge. These are administrative law judges, even within the executive branch. These judges answer to the Department of Justice, not Article 3 of the Constitution. This means there's no independent judiciary, there's no Sixth Amendment protection, and the outcome can often feel predetermined, especially when legal representation is limited or unavailable. Last, the limited right to counsel. Immigration detainees have a right to an attorney at their own expense. Unlike in criminal court, the government does not have to provide a public defender. This becomes particularly important for families like Maria's, who are trying to navigate complex legal systems without the resources to fight effectively. All right, next let's move into the evidentiary standards. They're still important, even though this case might not require beyond a reasonable doubt to secure a ruling in the government's favor. All right, let's briefly revisit the 6 levels of evidence we cover in each lecture. We'll start the lowest. First, you have mere suspicion. Now, this is a gut feeling or instinct. It's not enough to stop or detain anyone. Here, the officer seeing a van with people inside, but no signs of criminal conduct yet. That would be a mere suspicion. Number 2, reasonable suspicion. All right, this is when the government has specific and articulable facts to justify a brief detention or investigation. A good example is, here you had a sealed van with no handles, visibly emotional occupants, and previous intel that may raise the officers to the level of reasonable suspicion for ICE involvement. Number 3, probable cause. All right, this is when the government has a reasonable belief that a person has committed or is committing a crime. This is the level needed for an arrest or for a search. It's important to note that in immigration cases, this is often replaced with reason to believe under the federal statutes. So the government only needs to meet a standard of having a reason to believe that there's been a violation. Number 4, preponderance of the evidence. This means more likely than not, it takes about 51% of the evidence to win this type of case. This is used in civil cases. A good example is, this is the standard used to determine someone's removability in immigration court. The government doesn't need to prove someone's undocumented beyond a reasonable doubt, just that it's more likely than not. Now, also you have clear and convincing evidence. Now, this is a higher burden and is used for more serious civil actions like terminating parental rights. This one's not typically required under immigration cases. Even though these are administrative hearings, the government only needs to meet that 51% burden and not this higher 75% burden in order to win their actions in immigration court. Finally, we have beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, this is the gold standard for criminal trials. Remember, this is not a criminal trial when we're talking about immigration issues. But this one means there is no other reasonable alternative other than the guilt of the defendant. One more time, this standard does not apply to immigration cases. The important standard here the government needs to meet is preponderance of the evidence. And the important arresting standard is just having a reason to believe the laws have been violated. All right, so no jury section here today. We're going to talk about intuition. Since there's no jury in immigration court, let's tap into something equally powerful. Your intuition, the officer's intuition, prosecutor's intuition. Let's start here. How'd you feel watching this unfold? When Maria was crying and pleading, or when her mother was upset and also crying and pleading? When the officers told her she wouldn't be able to see her loved one past the front lobby at this detention center, ask yourself, does it feel like a fair process? Was there compassion in the way it was handled? Were the officers informed or just executing a plan they didn't even fully understand? They really didn't have very much information about what was going on. They pretty much showed up and did what they were told to do. Sometimes we don't need a law book to tell us something's wrong. We just feel it. That instinct matters, especially when the system operates outside public view. With that, let's go ahead and wrap things up for today. What we saw today wasn't a criminal arrest. It was a removal operation. But the legal distinctions don't make the emotional impact any lighter. Family members were separated, people were detained without formal charges, and the officers involved, many of whom didn't even know the full scope, were simply following federal directives. This case reminds us that in immigration enforcement, legality does not always equal justice. The administrative process strips away many constitutional protections, and families often face consequences alone. Let me know what you think. Was this handled fairly? Should immigration cases carry more legal safeguards? Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments. Hit the like button if you learned something today, and don't forget to subscribe. Remember, this is Advocacy Alchemy, and I am Professor Ross. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe out there, and have a good day.